This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Shaun Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where you, the pit crew, you are the real star of today's show. Why? I say that all the time. Just last week, you guys had my back with stories, corrections, things that I had missed that had come in right after we had started the show. So again, you guys really are the star of the show. And the other big reason is because we're here to talk about sim racing. I mean, the point of the Pit Stop is not me going on and on and on about the news that you could go out there and find, but it's actually to interject our thoughts and our opinions on these topics as they come along. And, you know, certainly we all play different sims. We all use different equipment. We all have different disciplines of racing that we prefer. But at the same time, we're all in the same community. So when I start talking about Assetto, Corsa, Competizione, for some people, that's going to be the biggest news of the day. But for other people who maybe that isn't their flavor, maybe that isn't their number one sim, maybe that isn't the biggest of news. So again, this show is really trying to be very well-rounded, covers sim racing across the board from the very beginner to the very, esport heroes. And, and I want your guys' thoughts and opinions on everything that we talk about. And even if I don't comment back, what you say is being seen by the other people watching. And again, this is a conversational show as much as it is a news show. I mean, we really don't have that much news. It's not like I'm doing the world news here. We're doing sim racing news, but it's being able to talk about these things that makes it so special and honestly makes the time worth it. Like when I analyze, and sorry to take a little diversion on you guys here this morning, but when I analyze the numbers of the Pit Stop, for example, we're averaging maybe 1,000, somewhere between 800 and 1,200 people per episode watching the total show. We usually have somewhere between 60 and 140 watching live. Those, believe it or not, are not setting the record, world on fire kind of numbers. They're certainly not the kind of numbers that are growing this channel to the level of success. However, it's a guilty pleasure. I love doing the Pit Stop. I love being knowledgeable of what's going on in all sims and all things sim racing, and doing a news show like this is the best way for me to keep myself informed. Add you guys, add my friends to sit here and talk about it. Now we have something really special. And I will say that despite the numbers not being worthy of even running the pit stops, to be honest with you, just giving it to you on a business level. I mean, if this was a company making various products and we're looking at the pit stop line of candy and we're like, those just aren't selling, we dump that line of candy. In the case of this, well, I'm the owner of the company, so I get to keep my personal favorite. So even if the world isn't buying that candy, I'm still eating it, and my company's still making it so that I can eat it up. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the Pit Stop and being part of the news and talking sim racing. So this season, we saw really the first real season of the Outlaw Sprint Car level dirt esport competition. You had real teams involved, big names, big teams involved, just like we're seeing in the Formula One esport, just like we're seeing in the NASCAR esport. Involvement with the real life counterpart teams. In this case, Alex Bergeron, who we talked about him almost every week because he had such a dominant season. He clinched the sprint car title. So he is the first Outlaw Sprint Car esport champion. 2019 iRacing World of Outlaws NOS Energy Sprint Car World Championship. So congratulations to him. Well done. And big thing. Hey, Joe McDonald, thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. Yes, we will keep them going. Like I said, this is a guilty pleasure. I just enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking about it. I'll be honest with you guys, being the regulars here on the show, I'm actually fascinated that more people don't tune into this show. It's actually, and I'll say this, it's actually a letdown to me of our community that there isn't more demand and need for a show like this, the Pit Stop in particular. I'm not talking the Sim Pit across the board. This show in particular. It blows my mind, and it's a big letdown because I've never been involved in a different hobby or sport where something like this wasn't the backbone of the community. So, but anyway, I'm not crying. I love doing it. So congratulations to Alex Bergeron. And again, I was starting to say thank you to that group and that series and to iRacing for providing, in my opinion, what was some of the most entertaining and most realistic looking sim racing competition that I've seen. So when I watched the races of the Pro Series guys going at it, it looked like what I saw or see in real life TV. So that I give them huge kudos for, more so than any of the others. Thank you very much, James. Yes, I'm fascinated by it. I really am. It blows my mind that it's like, really? Okay, never mind. Go watch somebody else drive. That's cool. Don't drive for yourself. Watch someone else drive. Anyway, also coming to us from iRacing are 3 new cars that are coming. I better mute my sound. The Whelen Modified Tour SK and Tour models are both coming. This is coming to iRacing. Week 13 is coming. So we're just a couple weeks away, really, from seeing new content. So with new Modified Tour SK and Touring Mod version. New Monster Energy Cup Series Ford Mustang to go along with the new Camaro. And the Gander Outdoor Truck Series Chevrolet Silverado. So those are 3 new cars coming to the service. Lots going on. This next build in Assetto Corsa, this next build in iRacing is going to be a pretty significant build. Should make a pretty big difference in a lot of the different cars and series that are going on. All right, now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I turned things around. Where's the Simpit banner? That's my rig. That is my #1 racing rig. That's my R-Seat S1 chassis. My Sim Experience wheel, my Rick Motec pedals, my favorite of all my stuff, ready to go. And that's Assetto Corsa loaded up on my computer. Still waiting. I hear 10 o'clock, so we're about 53 minutes away from when, supposedly, and that is our next story. After many months in early access, Assetto Corsa Competizione, the official Blancpain GT Series game, launches today on Steam, featuring 51 teams, 280 selectable drivers, and 14 manufacturers. I heard some people asking if we got, like, final car count yet. I don't know if I've seen a list of all 14 manufacturers, but you probably could look through the Blancpain series and figure out the 14 manufacturers. GT Sport had a new championship race. It was NERB 24, and it was pretty boring, 3 laps. You know, a lot of the racing I see, and you know, Heat 3 is one of the things we are going to talk about a little bit, just a little bit today. You need to bring back some of the people you've interviewed in the past and do live interviews. Double Clutch, I completely agree with you 100%. I need more people reaching out for me. I'm so bad at correspondence and things. Really behind. I mean, anyway, I don't want to turn this show into a crying about what I have to do. I love my job. I have the best job on earth. But sometimes it's a little overwhelming to keep on the pulse of everything that I want to be doing and then actually follow through with it as well. So anyway, back to Assetto Corsa. Let's stay on track with the news. Today is the big day. So many of you, I mean, you know, we can talk all day long about, like, you know, here I am. Oh gosh, can I even lift it? I don't know if I can lift the thing. We can, you know, all day long, we can say, hey, you know, $1,500 wheel. Is it worth buying or not? I don't know. It's up to you. Let's watch a review. Let's get some feedback on other people or other thoughts. When it comes to a sim racing title, I'm a little less, to be perfectly honest with you, there's almost a little less need of even a review. It's like, man, you're going to hear enough word of mouth, you're going to see enough video, and you're going to know right out of the gate who's making it and the discipline. You know, so we could use, like, that Dakar Rally as an example. As much as I would have loved a great Dakar Rally game, coming from the group making it and its lack of pedigree, so to speak, didn't give me the highest confidence in the title. Now, when we're talking about Assetto Corsa Competizione, and we can rail them for things they didn't do, things we would have liked to have seen, things that's missing, or things that are broken, but the bottom line is, and this is my real thoughts on this, this is from Kunos. This gets back to Netcar Pro, one of the greatest sims ever built. And a lot of people could argue, we could do a whole show on, was Assetto Corsa less of a sim than Netcar Pro? I mean, that's a discussion you don't hear a lot of people take on. But I will say that, in my opinion, Netcar was on a path of being a better sim than Assetto Corsa. Assetto Corsa was maybe a better racing title. But Assetto Corsa Competizione comes from a group that I have immense confidence in. They've always really put out a pretty good product. And when you look at the weather, the graphics, and some of the things that are coming into this to really take Assetto Corsa even to the next level, to me, it's a no-brainer. So my point is, today is Assetto Corsa Day. If you haven't bought it, get ready to. Today is the day to get in, to have some fun. You can wait a few weeks and maybe get it a little bit cheaper. But again, we're not talking about a $1,500 wheel here. We're talking about a $45 racing title that could have some very good features. And when we talk about Sim Pizza, and I think at some point we're going to have to do a Sim Pizza version 2 and vote by the community on what game offers the best features so that we could build that ultimate sim. It'll be interesting to see what Assetto Corsa Competizione adds to that pizza. That's what I'm getting at. And I think it might add a few slices. It might take a few of those slices. So there you go. Derek Spear, yes, Netcar Pro was 10 years ago. And when I say that, I mean it was on a path to being. Like, I think it was a little bit more hardcore than Assetto Corsa. But now we're going to get into one of those articles about or arguments over physics and all those kind of things and force feedback and you know, we can have these conversations all the time. But my main point here isn't to slam Assetto Corsa versus Netcar Pro as much as to give Kunos complete credit and a pat on the back for being one of those companies that I have total confidence in. You know, to me, buying Assetto Corsa Competizione at its earliest point was a no-brainer. Because it's like, I know I'm going to buy the title, so I might as well save myself a bunch of money. So yeah. David, I don't know on the VR, to be honest with you. Dave Blair, and that's the thing. We just might see SRS get integrated into, or something else, or, you know, and we still don't know 100% what anybody else has up their sleeve. So, all right, Assetto Corsa, today is Assetto Corsa Day. As soon as I can, that thing's going to be loaded up. I'm going to be online playing Assetto Corsa most of the day, which is unfortunate distraction for me because I had a lot of things I was planning on doing today, and then it dawned on me this morning that, no, you're playing Assetto Corsa. Playing 51 teams, 280 selectable drivers, and 14 manufacturers. And something that I'm eager to get in on is, you know, like some of the career mode stuff. So I just stopped the thing. I should probably go back over to Steam. So Joa says, unlike some other titles, Assetto Corsa Competizione does come with force feedback on release day. Yeah, Brad, you got it for $20. It was an easy decision. Absolutely. That's right. Yes, it actually, I'm sorry, you know, my brain went dumb. Thank you, number 7 hole. VR, yes, but it's not performance friendly. In fact, when you fire up the game, it gives you 3 different options, like a lot of Steam titles do, to launch normally in Windows Mixed Reality VR or Oculus VR, I think, and then there was a third option that I think I can't remember. But yes. I heard some disappointing news. EA, David Grendel says EA is dead to him, and I understand that sentiment. I understand the new Need for Speed is not going to be at E3. I'm going to be at E3 this year, coming up in a couple of weeks. And there's only, I don't know who's going to be there. Like, Sony's completely pulled out. EA is not bringing Need for Speed. I don't know what titles are actually going to be there. I do know that WRC8 will be there, but that might be the only thing. I think Next Level Racing is going to be there. Other than that, I don't know if there's anything sim racing related that's going to be at E3 this year. It might be the worst E3 in the history of the world, and I always say I'm never going to go again, but I'm going this year. All right. What else going on in the news? We talked about Dirt Rally Team being at Silverstone, doing the whole thing with the world. In fact, didn't they give away event tickets to this a while ago? I vaguely remember, but here they have a video here of some of the FIA World Rallycross Championship drivers doing their thing in Dirt Rally 2. Grip. Ooh, I wonder, is Grip going to be there? That's a great question. So Laser Cutter says you can, so do I need to get out of the game? All right, sorry, I told you this show is a guilty pleasure for Shaun Cole. And so I'm going to maintain the guilty pleasure part. Update queuing. There we go. Competizione is updating on my system as we speak. All right. It's in LA. Yes, it's in LA. It's not a hard show for me to go to, by the way. Hard to get into sometimes and hard to tolerate. Jesse won the game on an MMA fight bet with Bucho. That's one way to get it. Anyway, so in that video, I forgot what we were talking about, but this was the real-life World Rallycross. That's what was going on at Silverstone. It was the World Rallycross Championships, and they did give away some prize packages to that quite a while ago. Well, now it's going on. We talked about it on Monday, the Speed Machine booth, I think they were calling it. And anyway, here's some video of some of the World Rallycross drivers doing their thing in Dirt Rally 2.0. All right, what else? What else is going on in sim racing? Formula One had their first event of what are the qualifier racers, essentially. So this is the F1 eSport Series. This is year 3. We've seen a jump in prize money this season. It went from $200,000 to $500,000. So a huge, I mean, that's more than double. I'm a lawyer. That's more than double. So this should be the most competitive season. I mean, money's going to bring more and more talent. And what I love is looking at this right here, this is the PC race-off, final classification time. Look at the old school, new school. You've got 3 different namings. I mean, does this stuff fascinate you guys at all? CRG Stiliv is the winner. VP Presnodder and Crow Mac. Anyway, what I'm getting at is, look at how some guys use team name. Some guys use, a gamer tag, and then you have some of the guys you didn't expect. Like, look at the guys who use their real name. We know them: Amos Laredo, Samuel Liebert, Gianfranco Giglo. I don't know his name, and Sebastian Job. So I love the different naming, and you can see how it's just so gamey. Fake news, Shaun. Lawyers don't do math. Yeah, well, did you see my math there? 200 to 500 is actually what, 150% increase. 150%. No, 250%. There you go. Sim racers don't do math either. All right, NASCAR Heat. Bunch of videos here. I'm not going to dwell on this because I still can't get over watching, 16 drivers and acting like we're having a big competition in the world of motorsport. In a lot of sports, I mean, you know what? I love sports that are single-man sport too. But in the world of racing, 16 is almost like a invite only. I guess it is an invite only. Anyway, we were seeing some of the videos of the Xbox and the PlayStation competition that went on at Charlotte. And I think the main takeaway from this is we watched the iRacing series, and of course everyone's racing from their home. But in the case of this, they're all doing it live in Charlotte. And of course you've got David Hoots in the house to call the green during Sunday's eNASCAR ePro League race. Heat. Did I say that right? I'm not sure. Anyway, so this is now going on. This is going to be the biggest thing going on for a little while in eSport, and we'll keep you up to date on those. Get asked every day on Podium Software. You see this wheel, and it's just sitting here. You don't see any wires in it, do you? No. You know what? I had some basic grounding issues. Not sure if that's what, but when I remove that wheel, I don't have any audio issues. When I plug that wheel in, I get a buzz. Beyond that, I'm waiting on the software, which I still have not heard any word on. And so, honestly, I'm holding the review. I'm holding the review until maybe an update or maybe some software comes out. Then I think it'll be fairly fair of me to move forward. But anyway, some other news from Fanatec. Oh, wait. I'm missing one of them. Do I have it here? There it is. Okay. So they had already talked about the kill switch, the mounting brackets, the podium hub, and the software. And getting back to the point, the software, if you read this post, which is on their forum, the software has still... The software has still some major problems and is simply not ready yet, but you can expect at least a good beta version in May so you can try it out. So we are 2 days left in May, hoping that they come through with that. But, not to read too much into it, this word here is the one that really frightens me. Major. Major is a word that I don't use very often. Major is a word defining an extreme situation. So let's hope, let's cross our fingers that we see that software within the next 2 days. All right, so, in addition to that, though, I got sidetracked by the software. Other announcements from them is the new Podium Wheel Rim R300. This is the perfect all-rounder, 300-millimeter diameter. The Club Sport button clusters. This is a set of buttons which you might know from the Club Sport Universal Hub. And then the Podium Club Sport steering wheel. We have a little video showing, like, the Universal Hub. There's what they're calling the Podium Hub. And if you watch this video on YouTube, you'll hear Sim Racing Girl taking you through the whole lineup of how all this works. So that is the only news that we do have out of Fanatec. We do not have word or news. Oh, that looks kind of cool right there, I will say. Ooh, there we're seeing some stuff. We're getting little teasers here and there. So, what else? What did Joe say? Wheel adapter for their DD. Well, Yep. Can you do NASCAR? I can do NASCAR. Can you do NASCAR? Charlotte? We're at Charlotte. Oh, that's good to hear. Derek Spears, the new distributor for SimuCube 2 wheels. That's excellent for U.S. customers. That's great. Did you already get your order in? Paul Stoker, I couldn't agree with you more. I am getting so sick and tired of the concept of pre-order. And if pre-order meant that it got you something other than, on the first list, but what it usually means is you get your money delayed, and then beyond your money delayed, you sometimes even get a problematic product. The pre-order game has become a scam for sure. 350 millimeter and go truck driving. All right. Yeah, new track. I don't know. Bart, did I mention that on Monday's show? I meant to. New track in GT Sport. I'm not sure if I have that up today. If somebody sends me a link on the main channel in Discord, I can probably get it on the show. McLaren Shadow. So here, they had a couple posts. This was yesterday, 24 hours ago. Ready to remerge from the shadows. Now, this is titled McLaren Shadow, not McLaren Racing, not McLaren F1. And that was their tease 24 hours ago. I love McLaren Shadow. I don't love that car. Ugh. Looks like there's going to be some GT Sport competition there, huh? So, May 29th, 2019, that being today. Here we have a photo. Keep an eye on our channels today. That being posted 8 hours ago. The most inclusive and diverse eSport racing competition on the planet is back. Welcome to Shadow Project Season 2. Boom. In addition to that, they have a video. So, McLaren Shadow, 3 hours ago. Our search for the brightest and best racing talent in eSport continues. Could it be you? So, the whole lineup of Shadow competitions, and just looking at the cars they're showing, I can see a diversity in disciplines and where they're going to be drawing their talent from. That was Igor Fraga. I think the other day I saw Igor Fraga and couldn't remember his name, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry about that, Igor. Anyway, at McLaren.com, under Racing 2019 McLaren Shadow, they have the full write-up on how it launches, the whole Project Shadow competition, the same trailer that we just watched sitting there, and talking about who is going to, Ben Payne, Zach Brown, all their chiefs talking about it. So, again, this is something that we'll be able to watch and be entertained by. This is also something that I encourage some of you to get out there. The Project Shadow usually offers an opportunity to get in a good leaderboard competition against one of the biggest groups you're going to be able to run against. So you want to know where you stand on the ladder of sim racing. You want to know how fast you really are or aren't. These leaderboards are going to be very deep, and it'll be a good judge of talent. They're going to run on Real Racing 3, R Factor 2, and Forza Motorsport 7. Oh, Real Racing 3. Oh, so kills me. So kills me. Is that elitist? Where's DJ? Is that elitist that I think that them using Real Racing 3 to determine a McLaren Shadow level driver? This is not the same thing that Rudy Van Buren won, by the way. This is the second year of McLaren Shadow competition, I believe. Okay, what else do we have to talk about? Cool article and write-up here at motorsport.com. What Lando Norris learned about Max Verstappen's style in sim racing. And it's a whole write-up of how... And think about the new breed of racer. It's in NASCAR we're seeing this too. We're seeing a bunch of different sim racers turn pro racers now. Or guys who have a lot of sim racing experience simultaneous to going up the ladder in real life. It's not like they're sim racers and then they give them the keys to a Cup car or Formula 1 car. They've run in other disciplines simultaneous to all that. But think about this. You could... In the modern era, you could have an education on other drivers from racing against them in sim. Who would have thought of that? I mean, that's the only reason I'm even mentioning this article today is who would have even thought of that? And yet it makes totally perfect sense. Also, we're getting a good look at Lando Norris's rig. That's a beauty rig. I got to get new monitors. It's the bezels. It's not my monitors, and it's not even the scratches on my monitors that bother me. It's the bezels now that are just a little too big, a little too dated. Okay, just checking in with your guys' chat. Some of it I can't keep up with, and I see you guys having good conversations, which is awesome. I mentioned it on Monday. We did talk about Automobilista 2. That was a big save from the pit crew because I didn't have that story. I believe it came in after, just wasn't following Ritza directly. But the announcement of the Automobilista 2, race department has an interview. They're calling it the Big Interview Part 1 with the Automobilista 2 by Paul Jeffrey. And this was posted there. If you want to hear more, you can hear from Renato at Ritza and what's going on exactly with Automobilista 2. This blew my mind a little bit. The Verge talking about HP's latest headphones. Cool your ears down so you can play games for hours. I thought, wait, fans? Blah, what are they doing? Fans in your headphones? That sounds hard to put a fan in an area where I don't want wind where I have audio. That doesn't really work very well. In this case, they're actually using magnetic refrigeration unit, I think I read somewhere. And it's not going to make a huge, if you've ever used anything that had those like magnetic coolers, it's not a thermoelectric magnets to cool your ears. That's what they're using. I had a little thermos, a little, what do you call those? A cooler that actually had a refrigeration mode and it used those, but it barely kept cold. But it might be just enough. And the reason I saw this wasn't so much the headphones, but it applies there too for sure. VR could use a way of cooling things down, but I don't want to see too much weight added. Those don't look too bulky, so it might be reasonable. And I guess it also has a lot to do with the head unit and how it holds on your head. All right, sorry. You guys are talking about... Sometimes I love you guys chatting. Sometimes I look at it and it's like, oh, that doesn't really apply to what I'm saying. Yours get a bit swampy with these closed back headphones. Yeah, that could make a big difference right there. So HP is going to use thermoelectric magnets to cool your ears. Unlikely there'll be a battery-powered version, though. So these are going to be powered over the USB, which makes perfect sense. Amazon.co.uk is now listing F1 2019 Legends Edition. Somebody sent this in to me. Available June 25th, 2019. $65 for the Legends Edition if you're interested in pre-order. What else? What else to talk about? Some of these I'll blow right through. Truck driver is arriving on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Don't know anything about the game. Truck Driver, don't even know if it has a decent score or anything. But for you truckies, for you guys running those 350mm wheels trucking, there's another option you might want to look into. Here, Gear Nuke is mentioning. So, Gran Turismo Sport Update 1.39 will add an all-new track. I knew I had that somewhere. And my brain is fried. So what is the track? I can't remember. Coming out on May 30th. And do they not even... This article doesn't even mention the track. This article is no better than my bad memory. Isn't that wonderful? Anyone know the track? What track is it coming to Gran Turismo Sport on May 30th? I can't believe there's an article. I mean, that's pretty sad. Update coming this week. So, Kaz says that this is the track right here. Goodwood, that's right. Thank you. It's Goodwood. That's how you say Goodwood in Japanese, by the way. Cranky Pants. I love those headphones too. I'm a little dated in my review of the Ferrari headphones. Where are they? Oh, they're way over there. Love to hear your thoughts. I think they're very good headphones that you pay an extra $20 for all the red plastic and the Ferrari emblems. So if you took all that off, they'd be $20 cheaper and the equivalent to a lot of the 50mm headphones that are out there. But I will gladly pay that $20. But with that, you're still at a sub $100 headphone set, which means a lot of the low end bass to me kind of blur together and it's not as defined and separated. That's my only criticism of those. But I think that's something that is common to sub $100 headphones. Let's face it, in the world of audio, $100 is dirt cheap. So we're not talking about high end headphones. And I think with that said, they're very, very good headphones. And I think they look so cool. These are the headphones we're talking about. And I think they look so cool that it's worth that $20, like I said, versus just a pair of black generic equivalents. I'd do it. They look racy, too. TT Isle of Man is now available for the Nintendo Switch in North America. So if you never played that on any of the other modes that you could, but you thought, hey, you know what? Maybe I would play it. I mean, motorcycle game might actually play on the Nintendo Switch really well. You might be able to get that body English into the action. Derek has the flight version. Yeah, they're the exact same. They're just gray and militaried out, right? The exact. And you don't like them much. I thought they were just average. Again, they're $80 headphones in a $100 price tag. They're adequate, but I mean, like I had a pair of Sennheisers were my previous headphones, and you cannot compare them. I mean, the sound difference is amazing, and I have bad hearing, so that's coming from somebody who doesn't even hear all that well. But it's night and day difference, unmistakable difference between the two. So anyway, TT Isle of Man now available for the Nintendo Switch. Tonight, I'm not even sure I have the right graphic. I don't necessarily have the right graphic. Yeah, it is. Here we go. Tonight, here we go. Twin Ring Motegi. Ask me if I've turned a lap. And today's Assetto Corsa day. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm getting so far behind on the Lionheart IndyCar series. It's such a cutthroat series and such serious racing and such fantastic racing that I'm finding it hard to allocate the amount of time it takes to do it right. I really wish I had the time because it's such a great competitive series. Sage Karam runs in that thing. I mean, it's like Adam Blocker is a god amongst gods, and it's an opportunity to race with some really, really talented race car drivers. And I'm just not getting the time in to be ready and be dedicated like I need to. But anyway, tonight it will be on GSRC. So you're going to have all of those guys doing the great broadcast on the iRacing ESport channel. And definitely worth tuning in and watching. That'll be tonight at 9:35 Central Time. I'm seeing something. Oh, GT Sport. Yep, there's the update. Thank you, Tim. Sorry, I knew I had a story somewhere. Thank you for that. And all access to Toronto, $320. I'd like to go to that one. All right, what else to talk about? Yeah, Dustin, I am gonna try to get some time in. Luckily it's an oval, so I can probably get up to speed in a reasonable amount of time. So I thank you. I love racing with you guys. It just, man, it's so hard for me to get in the rig and just practice like I need to, and I have so many things going on. It's just been really tough, and leaving town a lot, or things like E3 coming up in 2 weeks even. So love that series though. So I will be there tonight, I'm hoping. Cross my fingers for that one as well. 24-hour Le Mans schedule and broadcast. This is one of the reasons I'm a little behind, is this Saturday at 5 a.m. is the beginning of the race. 5 a.m. I'm going to be starting the race for our party team, the Simpit Ricmotech party team. I call it a party team because we keep ending up with enough drivers to, like, on the line between 1 or 2 cars. And it's such a tough call when you're talking about a 24-hour race. It's like, if we go down to 4 drivers on a team, that's 6 hours of driving for everybody on that team. That's brutal. Anyway, so because we are on the line, we decided to go with 1 car and everybody in it. Doesn't matter. And we're just going to have a good time doing it. We're going to broadcast the whole thing. 24 hours of racing, starting 5 a.m. Saturday morning, ending 5 a.m. Sunday morning. And should be outstanding. And then if you want to watch the big boys race, there's a full lineup of the schedule here in this article at simracer.es. 24-hour Le Mans schedule and broadcast. And you're going to see the LMP guys in the Audi R8, the Porsche 919, the HPD in its own class, and then the GTE class, so the Ferrari, the Ford, the Porsche, and the BMW, with our team being in the BMW. David, I'm totally looking forward to it. So, all right, what else? Just cool stuff to look at. Simrace hardware news and reviews blog talking about the Porsche, Lamborghini, Porsche, Lexus replicas of GT steering wheels by Jacob R. Sim Racing. That's a fine looking wheel. Oh, I think that's news. That's from Davy Jones. What did Davy add to the show? See, that's what it's all about, you guys. We're just here to talk sim racing. EA are paying for the use of Real Racing 3 in the Formula E race event competitions with the Fanatec rigs, and I assume the same for McLaren Shadow. There you go. So Real Racing is taking that position essentially in that competition. Thank you for that, Davey. What else? Okay, so cool replicas, cool wheels. Gotta like all the wheel options. There's so many wheels to choose from now. Do you realize how many wheels there are and how many manufacturers? Oh, let's look at this Porsche one. That's pretty cool. On a Logitech. Oh, that's brutal. How brutal is that imagery right there? Oh, I gotta see that again. April Fools. No, wow. Here, let's put a $2,000 steering wheel on a $300 wheel kit. Hey, you know what? Logitechs are badass wheels. I can't talk smack. Other cool stuff to look at. Who's this by? SimLogic. This also at Sim Racing Hardware News and Reviews. Just stuff I like. It's eye candy. I can't help myself. SimLogic Race Center. More than just a button box. So, looks like a display and button box built into one of those. Maybe some acrylic. It almost looks like Sim Racing hardware type design shape, but it's not. Kind of cool. What do you think of that, Derek? Have you seen them? What else? Popular Science has a cool write-up. Inside the racing simulators drivers use for realistic training. They're talking about F1 level drivers. Hold on, David, you'll be missed. Yeah, David, it sucks that you're not going to be there. If you jump in, you can do a 15-minute stint if that's all your VR will allow. There's always room in the car for you, buddy. Anyway, so cool little write-up. I'm getting so tired of these little tiny stories. Anyway, with a little video that mine isn't playing. But look at this. Look at this with the engineers. You know, if you look really carefully, I wish I can blow up this photo. You see the simulator here in front of the giant projectors, right? You can see the little hoop of the roll bar right there. And then this is behind like a glass window and 2 engineers watching everything, watching the live telemetry, watching the TV camera, watching the in-car camera, and talking to the driver simultaneously. Spatial, yeah, you know, it's interesting you say that about putting a screen on your button box. The other thing for me, a button box, that's not an area that I actually look at. For me, the only place that a screen, even down on my wheel, to be honest with you, unless I'm in a Formula 1 driving position, but if I'm in a more comfortable or GT driving position, even like, I don't even see rev lights on my wheel. For me, anything that's not on my heads-up display or on my monitors is kind of not going to be seen or used much. But I will say it looks cool. Wood Brothers Penske win the first Oh, this was supposed to go back with the other. We saw the video of this kid winning, this guy on the left with the Oakley sunglasses there. Slade Gravitt is his name, and Brian Tedeschi. That's the PlayStation and the Xbox winner, if I'm not mistaken. Right there from Charlotte. And again, live event. These guys are doing it in front of a crowd, doing it face-to-face with their competition, which is a totally different environment than what we see with iRacing. And honestly, when we were looking at that and being very hypercritical of the race that we were watching, like the TV camera of only 16 cars and it looking kind of pathetic in a weird way, maybe the camera that's going to be more exciting is going around watching the faces of these drivers and watching the competition itself. David only sees his BB and track temp. Yep. Yeah, that, like, it would be at a spot where I look down for information. That's it. At certain times, you know, I agree. Which, same thing in real life. Like when I'm doing the Lemons racing, there's a full dash in the car and all the gauges. And, you know, it's pretty critical that you keep an eye on your gauges. But I don't see any of that when I'm driving. I'm all window when I'm driving. And it's only like on the long straightaway or crossing the start-finish line that I tend to look down and double-check my gauges. Article here at gfinityplc.com. F1 Esports in FT, designed, developed, and delivered in partnership with Gfinity. A whole write-up talking about the next gen. This year's, they're mentioning also that increase from $200,000 to $500,000. Talk about Brendan Lay being the 2-time champion. Started at 19, now he's 21 years old. He has beat out over 65,000 drivers to have that naming of 2-time champion. So, this is going on, and still don't know exactly who's in, and they're always so weird about this competition. And there's even some secondary qualifying that I think is going on beyond, like we saw that qualifier race. There's some other... It's really weird what they're doing with this one, it seems. It's hard to even get a real grip on. I haven't put a lot of effort into investigating exactly where and how all the spots are happening. Sim Racing Life, I am totally wanting that new Stream Deck. I use Stream Deck. It's sitting right here. This one only has one open spot on it, if you can see, if you know Stream Deck. I could easily use 32 buttons. Also, I like having spacing sometimes. Billy says you only check the gauges on the sprint car under yellow. Yeah, you don't have enough time to look down at all. You're always on the wheel. All right, so wide world of eSport. I love the naming. This is at NASCAR.com under their eNASCAR. Also another write-up on the Charlotte event that went on that we've been talking about all day. And gear up for it, you guys. You know, we can say what we want. I'm not gonna continue to bash this as we continue to cover it, because I have to give it credit where credit is due. This is one of the premier esport events, and you can say what you want about whatever you want, but this is the real deal. eNASCAR takes on Charlotte. Ty Majeski, former Xfinity Series driver and number 1 ranked and number 2 ranked iRacing driver, claimed his first career ARCA victory at Charlotte Motor Speedway Thursday night. Oh, I didn't know that. Congratulations, Ty. That's awesome. That's awesome. And then they went on to talk about Wood Brothers Gaming, Land's eSports sponsor, and all that's going on with what we've basically been covering all day with that series there. MotoGP's eSport is restarting. So we talked about this in the background last year. We covered all the winners all through last season. MotoGP eSport Championship revs up for 2019. So good news for the people who do like the two-wheeled racing variation. I am a terrible motorcycle racer, so I've really not given this much of a go. I've just always believed it's really hard to get a motorcycle sim right, to be honest with you. I heard about it, but I haven't used it. The Sim Deck button box software, I've not. That's the one that I believe you can turn this into a button box for your sim racing instead of needing a button box. NVIDIA releases GeForce 430.86 drivers. I have not downloaded them yet. I don't know when I'm going to. However, one of the things about this driver is it's saying right here in the text, Game Ready provides the optimal gaming experience for Quake 2 RTX and Assetto Corsa Competizione. Add support for 3 new G-Sync compatible monitors. Add support for Oculus Rift S and HTC Vive Pro Eye HMDs. So this is a big deal. Hopefully this one works. Hopefully everything's good and we can download that very soon and depend on it. And then a few rigs just to look at or a few things to inspire you. Posts on Reddit of people in sim racing. This is from Solidos. Do I have to disclaim that? Probably. Getting started in sim racing, just waiting for my wheelbase to arrive, then I can start building. Well, you can start building long before you get that wheelbase because you still have a rig to put together. You're going to need some kind of monitor stand to hang those BenQ 27. This is a nice setup. Look at this guy's setup. All those BenQ monitors, and then he's got the P1 wheel for Xbox One. You should send that back and get a better wheel rim. I'm just saying. Looks like he's got a set of CSL Elite pedals, and I can't tell. Is that a next level box? That looks like, I can't tell what kind of rig that is. Anyone? Yeah, that's next level. That's a next level box. So anyway, I love Christmas Morning. He's got a Christmas Morning quality Deathmobile. This is a Deathmobile and a half right here. This is an easy Deathmobile. This is like, oh look, there's a pallet. Let me remove a few pieces of stick. Let me just drill this TV tray down to it, and I'm done. That is your quick and easy sim rig right there. I always talk about doing a junkyard rig. This guy beat me to it and did it. Actually, it looks kind of cool, too. It looks pretty decent. Let's see what happens if we fire up our Assetto Corsa. So here's our options when you fire it up on Steam. Play Assetto Corsa Competizione. Play ACC Steam VR mode, play ACC Oculus VR mode, or play ACC Competizione in no HMD. I'm playing it in standard mode on this computer. My VR rig is right there. So let's see what happens when we fire that up. All right, what else? What else to talk about? And then we'll go back to playing some Assetto Corsa Competizione. This from Charlie Clout. Me and my dad spent 2 years making a small gaming room in the garage to fit and build a racing rig in. Who would have guessed that's a garage? That looks like a bedroom. That does not look like a garage. You see the floating shelves with some die casts, some Hot Wheels, cool audio system in the room, and a nice sim racing setup right there. Gotta like that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, what else to talk about today? In the works, and one of the reasons I didn't want to skip today's show was because this little guy, this from BF Electronics in Australia, a guy named Bill Fletcher sent this to me, gosh, like a year ago. I'm so apologetic to Bill. He sent this to me forever ago, and I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, who knows what this is, by the way? First of all, let's just play a little game. What is that, and where does it go, and what does it work on are my 3 big questions as I delight. Anyway, this is something that is very exciting to me because I have been a very long time fan dating back to the very beginning of sim racing of a particular company. I'm going to give you guys just another moment to chime in with your idea on what that might be before I give it away. But before I give away what it is, I'm not giving it away. That's a keeper right there. So this is from BF Electronics in Australia, and this is a mod to an existing product by a company that I have been a longtime fan of, who is in desperate need of a mod like this existing. Now, it's not cheap, but it's a game changer for a lot of people out there. Weight scale is a very good guess, Theodore, but that's because the people guessing load cell are correct. That is a load cell. That is a load cell mod that fits in the T3PA Pro Thrustmaster pedals. When I think of Thrustmaster, I used a T1 20 years ago when I first started sim racing. Thrustmaster makes a lineup of very quality wheels. Very good wheels. A lot of people are huge fans of Thrustmasters and depend on them for sim racing. But the Achilles heel of Thrustmaster has been their pedals. And the pedals just, they're as simple as they can be. Even when you looked at the T500 pedals, which then became the T3PA Pro. Excuse me. T3PA are 3-pedal set with plastic casing. T3PA Pro are the metal ones that are invertible, just like the T500 had. This is a load cell that fits on that. And this is what I've been working on. I've been testing it, got all sorts of footage of me driving with it. I'll let you guys know, I've been having very good results. It is something that pedal set is needed. It's not cheap. It's a $150 item. But anyway, that's what I was planning on working on today, was filming a live review. I was going to film it live and then air it later, but film it live in terms of not edit. I was going to do that once again. But today is Assetto Corsa Competizione Day and Lionheart Racing Twin Motegi Day, so I'm not sure that I'm going to get a chance to get to that. But that is what's in the works and something I'm very excited about, and I want to apologize one more time to Bill for taking forever to do this review. He's been so patient with me, and then thank you for sending it in as well. So beyond that, today is the last day you're going to hear me mention this. Today is the last day that we are going to talk about the Simpit Meme Shaun contest. This is the contest. This is your chance, your opportunity to poke fun at me. And we're looking at some of the things that have been sent in over the last year from the pit crew. In addition, we're looking at some of the new entries that have been submitted recently. And whoever sends in the best one of these. So Friday is the deadline. You must email me, Shaun, S-H-A-U-N, at thesimpit.com. Shaun, S-H-A-U-N, at thesimpit.com. Email me your best clown, meme, whatever you do to make fun of me. Can I bring up, let me see if I can bring up the one that I did of myself. So I've done a couple of these just because I have fun clowning myself as much as the guys do. So hold on one second. I'm going to bring up my entry into today's competition. Give me 1 second here and we'll switch that. Anyway, a lot of these have been they make me laugh. We've had a good time amongst the pit crew doing this, and therefore I want to give everybody an opportunity to clown me as well, and that takes us to this picture. Any picture you can take of me, put it in the wrong setting, just to have fun, make fun, poke fun. All entries will be submitted by Friday, and then next week we will vote on them. And whoever has the winning entry, this is the fun part for me. Whoever has the winning, I don't care which one it is. Whichever the winning entry is, I am going to print on a t-shirt and wear for the entire month. So that'll be one part of the grand prize of the winning entry. In addition to that, they're also going to get an entire Simpit care package with a coffee mug, mouse pad, hat, t-shirt, and sticker. Compliments of me and the Simpit. So thank you for everybody who sent one in already. Again, I can't even, I love playing the video. I'm going to put one of these up on Facebook as well because they make me laugh. I swear, it's so awesome to have you guys send me things that make me laugh. Makes my day every time I get a new entry. Some have been downright hysterical, and anything you think that is funny and worth seeing, have at it. Have fun. Take any shot of me from my Facebook page, any shot of me from the show anytime, and put it in any circumstance possible. and it will be remembered on a t-shirt worn by me. That's another one I did. That's me and Jeff Gordon at Burning Man. Star Wars. Anyway, thank you so much for being part of the show. Thank you so much for your great dialogue and conversation during the show. And it's always a blast doing this. Like I said, it is my guilty pleasure doing the pit stop and having fun just talking sim racing with you guys. But that's going to do it for today. We'll be back with some Assetto Corsa Competizione throughout the day. This is the Simpit. I'm Shaun Cole, and I'll see you on the track.